Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Founder's Fortune. For those of you joining me for the first time ever, my name is Sabouts, and for those of you returning to my channel for another series, I'd like to welcome you back. Now, Founder's Fortune is essentially a colony building game, very similar to games like RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress or Nemoria. You start with a group of colonists, and your goal is to put together a base, keep them alive, defend the base from attacks, and gather resources, maintain food, all sorts of stuff. But this game actually has a lot more to it than that. And I'm going to show you what it is here in the actual gameplay that we're going to do. Well, definitely a really cool game. Has completely flown under the radar, I personally feel, for a lot of people, because this game's got a lot to it. So let's go ahead and start a new game. Now we've got 3 different difficulties here. We've got a calm world, more for people who just want to kind of get with the creative portion of the game. An exciting world, which is kind of your standard experience for anybody that just wants to play a regular game. And of course, a dangerous world, which makes your colonists take 50% more damage from all kinds of injuries. And instead of starting with 40 meals like you do in the exciting world, you only start with 10 meals. Also, catastrophes happen more often, and it's a challenge for veteran players. Now, I'm no veteran player, of course. I've only played a little bit of the game now, probably an hour or so, but I'm going to do it anyways, because why not? So starting off here, you get to select your 2 starting colonists, and you can randomize it till you get the colonists you want. I'm actually going to go ahead and do a little bit of randomizing here. There's particular colonists that I actually want to get in the beginning of the game that are going to help us with the dangerous world start. So we're going to go ahead and select this till I get the colonist I want, and boy, that would be great. You do have some personalities here as well as experience, and I'm looking mostly at the experience, and then we'll kind of bounce at the personalities. All right, so I want somebody who does some mining, and I definitely want somebody who has some forester, but I think we can do better on that if I randomize it a little bit. Right there, so there's a 2 forester. So this guy here, his favorite food is an apple strudel, which I agree, because apple strudels are amazing. And he has insomnia, so he has trouble sleeping and doesn't rest as well as others. It takes double the time to fully rest compared to others, so that could hurt us a bit, but we'll take it. This guy's actually allergic to tomatoes, which I don't think is going to hurt us too much, but he does have experience in battle. So he's not scared off easily, does not receive mood penalties for pain and death around him. So these are pretty good colonists. Let's definitely go ahead and start a game. Alright, so here we are actually in the game. Gonna go ahead and press space here to pause and take a look at our actual game world. Just use the mouse wheel to scroll out. I'm using the WASD keys to move around. We can see that we've got some forests all around us in our starting area. We've got a little bit of collectible berries here. Looks like we've got some wild healing plants. That's always very useful. Crystals over here. We've got the ability to mine some iron ore here. We've got what appears to be a goblin camp fairly close by, and another goblin camp up here. Now, this map, I believe, is the same every time you play it. I know that it's the same map that I've generated every time I've loaded in. I don't know if there's the ability for procedurally generated maps in the future. I'm sure there is, but either way, this is where we've started. This is a good start location regardless. We've got plenty of space to start building up. I'm actually going to take our colonists and kind of push them over here a little bit. I don't want to build so close to the goblin area. I don't like it. So here's our colonists. We've got Ben Wolf and we've got Carl Fisher. These guys can actually be renamed. So obviously I'm going to go ahead and throw me in here. I guess I'll be Ben Wolf. And if we want, if any of you guys want your name in here, go ahead and let me know. I'll be happy to add a couple of you guys in here while we play along. Now, let's go ahead and get these guys over into this area. I think a little bit more space here to build. Still close enough that they can gather resources from around here, but or we could actually maybe put it up here. I think that kind of makes the most sense. So I'm going to go ahead and move me. And we'll move Carl as well. So they're going to start moving. I notice the names actually don't change over here, believe it or not. He actually stays Ben. So this game is very early access, by the way. I should have mentioned that probably in the beginning. You're seeing an extremely early concept of the game. But for the little bit I've played it, it's actually very well fleshed out for early access. Okay, so a couple things we've got to do. First thing being, we've got to build Well, actually, let me do this. Let me start off by showing you guys this actual colony screen, because it might be a lot different than what you're used to in a lot of games like these colony management games. So our colonists each have different things like expectations and wishes. So these guys' expectations right off the bat, they both want good food and they both expect a better home. They want to own a sleeping spot. And things like this is what's going to improve their mood. And just like other games similar to this one, if their mood gets low, these guys will do things like attack other colonists, they might throw a temper tantrum, they might destroy stuff, they might wander around. There's all sorts of bad things that can happen if their mood gets below a certain threshold. So we want to meet these expectations so we can keep that mood up. There's something that's very new to colony management, at least for me in games that I've played, is the wishes portion of it. And it kind of reminds me a little bit about how it works in, say, like a game like The Sims 4. So these guys actually have like different wishes. These two in particular, Carl here, he wants to get a job. So he wants to have a job and be assigned a job, have a purpose. And he wants to get a bonfire in the colony. Now the bonfire actually signals to other migrants that we have a colony here and they will eventually travel here to join us. So he wants to get that built, and that'll give him some points here. Actually gives him 75 satisfaction points. The job only gives him 15. As you increase the satisfaction points, once this levels out, you get a reward, and that reward can be spent on all sorts of different things. You can add different traits here, such as good health or tireless. You can do things like spend the points to increase his max health, cure an illness, give him a motivation boost, or help him forget negative thoughts. You could also use it to do things like remove his allergy to tomatoes or remove his active trait of experienced in battle. And this is a good trait, so we probably wouldn't want to remove that. But it's just something that you're allowed to do regardless. So it's kind of cool. Me in general here, I actually want to get a research bench, or a research stand it's called. So that's kind of my aspiration. So let's go ahead and start by giving these guys both jobs. Now my character, if I remember correctly, I believe I'm the forester. So I'm going to go ahead and actually give myself the job of forester. So get 60% more wood out of trees if I upgrade to the next level. I already have 2 stars, which is good. So that means I'm going to be able to cut trees down very quickly. And I already have 150 out of 350 experience. Our other character here, he was a miner. Now, that's for gathering stones and such. We're actually not going to need that too early in the beginning. But it's handy to have regardless. So we'll go ahead and make him a miner, and that's going to be his job. Hopefully at some point here, we will get another colonist who has something like farming. But you can see that we've actually got to research some of that. Farming, woodworking. So a lot of that's not going to come in handy until later on down the line. Now, the building here, constructing buildings, that all happens by everybody. There's not a job that actually does building, as far as I know. So everybody will participate in the building portion. You can see here that there's lots of things to build. We've got basic life things, a basket that we can store raw food. People will go to the basket, pull the food out, they will eat it. And things like sleeping bags, which keeps people warm at night so they're not just sleeping on the cold, hard ground. We've got the bonfire as well. A bright fire that can be seen for miles, and it attracts migrants, but it also attracts enemies. So that's something to keep in mind. We've got farming, but we haven't unlocked it. Things like work for the research bench, military lights, seating, different types of seating, different types of tables, storage, and various decorations. Down here, you can see that this is actually where you can do your building planning. We've got wooden walls, stone walls. We can build a fort. We could build buildings inside the fort. We could build rooms and like storage areas, lots of stuff. A lot of it has to be researched, but you can make your buildings actually look pretty dang cool. I gotta say, the building portion of this game, extremely attractive to me. I very much like the way it is set up. So here's what we're gonna start off with. First and foremost, we're gonna go down to this setting, and this is where we can designate certain things to be cut. So we can click on this if we want to do a designation and only cut designated trees. So we can actually set trees to be cut and designated or to be mined. I believe if you leave this off and you don't designate, and I could be wrong, but I think if you don't designate any of this, your guys will just automatically do it, I believe, if you queue stuff up to be built. So I'm going to test that right now because I did not test that in my practice game. But I didn't actually notice that feature until later on. So I think if we're like, okay, we want to build, let's say, and I could be wrong. Let's see. We say we want to build the bonfire. So we want to start getting some new migrants. We'll just put the bonfire right over here by the water. Maybe. Well, this is going to be our colony here eventually, right? It's going to probably encompass this whole area. So let's just put it where we think the center of our colony is going to be. And if we set people to construct that, oh, we actually have, oh, their wishes are fulfilled. See? So there we go. We've actually got resources left over. We've got some wood there. Yeah, but he's actually running off to cut down trees. So he will cut down trees if I don't designate it. So I could just build and they'll go out and gather the resources that they need, or I could designate certain areas to be gathered. If I want to say knock this patch of trees down so I could build over here, then I could do that as well. Up here in the top left, you see we've got our raw food, cooked food, wood, stone, iron ore, healing plants, illness, medicine, healing potions, cotton, and crystals. They're all used to build certain things. The difference between the raw food and cooked food is obviously, you know, raw food can be used to make cooked food. They will eat raw food, but eventually they will get sick of it and they're going to want cooked food. So that's something to keep in mind. It's fine for now, but it might not be fine later. So here with our character, he has an expectation. He wants a better home. Now, neither of these guys actually upgraded from that, but yeah, they definitely want to have a better home. This guy actually has an aspiration or a wish. He wants to relax, but I don't really want him to do that just yet because I want to start getting our house up so we can get these guys rooms. Because if they start sleeping outside, their mood's going to go down, and if their mood goes down, they might start destroying stuff. Or worse, they might kill each other, which would be really bad. So I think we're going to build our rooms in such a way that they're kind of outside. So they're almost like little apartments for everybody. So let's build them. I figure we'll do five. I don't know how big they actually have to be, but let's shoot for like this size for each room. And we can put our door here. And if we like this, then we'll do the other ones like that, which I do think that that's going to be okay. Let me just check and make sure that this is right, and it is. And there we go. So 2 rooms ready to go. We're going to want to put flooring in here as well. And we're also going to definitely want to get our sleeping bags in here. There, and each of our guys are going to have their own room once they start constructing it, which they'll use the wood that we have. We've actually already spent the wood. When you build things, the wood gets spent. Then people got to go out, they got to harvest more. Yep, and he wants the sleeping spot, which we can actually give it to him right now, I believe. Nope, they got to construct it. We do have 20 cotton, or we did have 20 cotton, but we spent it on the sleeping spots. They costed 10 cotton each. So as soon as these guys go and build them, they'll be able to actually claim ownership of these sleeping spots, and then these will be their rooms. So that'll definitely give them mood boosts. But they already got pretty good mood boosts now just from the little bit of things I've built. This guy actually wants a basket of raw food, so we're going to want to get that. He's out. He's collecting more wood. The next thing I'd like to construct is a commons area where I can do things like research and have people eat. So we're going to put that, let's see, our apartment kind of thing here. I'll expand it this way. This is sort of going to be kind of the center, right? So we'll probably go ahead and do our commons area over here in this corner. And we'll make it a little bit bigger because we're going to eventually, we might be adding a lot more stuff to this. So we'll do a nice little 8x8 here. And I'll just go ahead and dismiss the help menu. I'm a professional now. And we will do that. All right. And we will definitely queue stuff up. I'm not going to do the floor just yet. Floor takes up a lot of wood. I'd like to hold off on that because I'd like to get the bucket for people to eat around, which we'll put here. And I'd like to get the research bench because we're going to need to start researching as soon as possible if we are going to even survive. We've got to get things like farming and such, which I think I'll do the farming probably up here. I don't know how big I'm going to make this. We'll just kind of let it go. I think apartments I'll expand down here and across. a bit, or maybe just down here and then another row down here. So we'll just have 2 rows of apartments. Up here we'll do like farming and all that. And if we get these trees cut down, we'll do other stuff. So these guys are currently, or one of them's currently sleeping. Yeah, we're going to want to put a research bench in here. We'll just do it up against this wall for now. All this stuff can be deconstructed, moved around later on. So we're just going to make it work how we have to make it work. This guy's mood's going down. He's very upset that he doesn't have a place to eat. They're both hungry, so we got to hurry up and get this built ASAP. Like, very soon. And then on top of that, he actually ended up sleeping outside, unfortunately, because the sleeping bag wasn't done. So this is what playing on the hardest difficulty can do for you. Well, hopefully we'll get that done as soon as possible. I'm going to want to designate harvesting so we don't run out of food. I don't know if harvesting is actually a job. Now that I think about it, I never checked that. If it's part of farming. Farming is responsible for food production and cooking food. When not busy, he also gathers cotton. Cut down trees for wood, Mother Nature's sake. He also takes care of saplings, so he'll actually make sure saplings are being grown. So maybe instead of mining, we'll set this guy to farming for now and have him do that. Tend the fields, cook food, gather cotton, harvest apples. Yeah, we definitely need somebody that does that. So mining's not really as important right now. And this guy is starving, so let's go ahead and have him construct this. Because that's going to be how they eat. So now they can eat food, which is great. And their expectations have been filled. The mood is back up. We're going to be okay. And he actually wants, they both want the research thing, so we'd be crazy not to get that, because that'll actually give me here enough points to be able to mess around with that. But I'm actually sleeping, so instead of doing that, why don't we go ahead and construct this bed as well. So that way, I have a much more comfortable place to sleep. The slept on ground is not going to be any good for us. For both of these guys. So we'll take ownership for this guy. Expectations fulfilled. And we'll go ahead and have him construct this one. So we can set ownership and get an expectation fulfilled for the other guy. And then eventually these will have to be dealt with. He doesn't care about life satisfaction at the moment because we're just not at that point in our colony. These will unlock eventually things like wealth and community and all that as the colony progresses. We'll go ahead and take ownership there. Nice. So these guys' mood's starting to go up. Meanwhile, why don't we have you go ahead and construct our research bench. Hopefully we'll get another migrant here soon. But hopefully not too soon, because food is going to be a huge issue. Yep. I'm going to want to have somebody definitely doing research. Oh, well, there we go. So let's go ahead and take a look. We've got ourselves a migrant. We can't see too much about him. All we can basically do, I believe, is recruit him. I don't think that we can actually see anything else. So we will recruit another person. You can accept them, reject them, fight them, or kill them. We're going to accept this migrant, but in the future, because of the difficulty that I have the game at, we'll probably be rejecting migrants until we have the ability to feed them. So this guy here, did he come with any benefits here? So he wants to discover woodworking. So is he a researcher? Because if he is, then that's awesome. He also comes with a new colony boost right off the bat. He's not, but we're going to make him a scholar. So he'll be our researcher. And as he progresses, he'll research faster. This will be great because he actually has the discover woodworking. He also wants to talk to Carl. Which we can actually have him do if we want to give him a quick mood boost. And he's going to need a room as well. And now these guys also are starting to have some life satisfaction kicking in. Reach level 1 as a farmer, relax. So we're actually going to set him, I think, to go here and relax for a bit. So he'll get that. Let's go ahead and designate our next room to be built. Even though we're not done with the other one, and we don't have enough, but that gets us started. Eventually our foresting guy's going to have to head out and get some more. Alright, you want to talk to Carl. who's busy right now relaxing. So you could do some research.
Yep.
Not me. You. But we need crystals. So crystals, a gem with many interesting properties. Your colonists can gather and study them as a way of doing research. So we're going to have to start mining some crystals here. So I had him set the farmer.
Yep.
But I might be better off having him go back to mining. Ooh, weather's changing, getting foggy out. Alright, so let's just keep him on mining then.
Yep.
I'm a forester, but I can also probably go ahead and I can gather apples without having to be a forester. So I'm going to set my guy out to go and gather some apples. Meanwhile, he's going to keep constructing walls, and I think I'm going to have Carl Fisher here go ahead and gather some crystals. Because I think, well, as he's waiting to be a scholar and do research, he can just focus on the building portion. There's no reason to have anybody else do that right now. So if I designate this stuff to be harvested, which I've already done, then they'll harvest it regardless. I'll go ahead and designate some stuff to be cut down as well. I think if you designate things, then they'll either only be done or certain people will do them. Alright, so there's the apples there. Yeah, farming is the very first thing I want to research, not woodworking. I know it's got me. One of these guys here wants woodworking. Our scholar, that's his goal. You can tell your colonist that you're not going to fulfill this wish. He'll be annoyed, but he will choose a different one. So that's good to know as well. But I definitely don't want to annoy anybody. He wants to reach level 1 as a farmer. Ah, see, but we changed him now back to mining. We'll just hold off on it for now. And he wants to talk to me, which you can have him do. We're actually kicking the tree down. A little bit different than punching. Maybe more effective. Eventually we could probably get tools to help out with that. If we have him talk to me, actually, he'll gain a point. Now, my character here does have a point, but there's really nothing I want to spend it on. Maybe fast learner or something, but I've got to get more points saved up. So it could take some time. Now, where is cotton? Is this cotton here? Because I got to... it's right here, so I got to gather cotton at some point. We need 10 cotton so we can build another bed. We definitely don't want France here sleeping on the ground for too long. That will not be good if that happens. Why don't I have me go ahead and... yeah, we definitely need somebody to do farming. If we get another colonist, then we can focus on that. I think having him be a builder / researcher is not a bad thing right now. And we've got 10 crystal. So how much does it take to research? 5 crystals for some of these. So let's go ahead and do farming. And we'll have France here go ahead and start analyzing the crystals to get us farming. My character's going to eat. And we're all going to bed. Unfortunately, my bed was taken, which is weird because I'm pretty sure I claimed ownership of that. But I guess it's not a bad idea to have France here sleep on the bed, since he doesn't have the wish fulfilled. So that kind of cancels it out.
Yep.
But we'll get another one here shortly. Not a huge deal. Alright, so now's a great place to leave it off, though. We're going to be playing more of this, so definitely stick around. If you haven't subscribed, you're going to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when new videos drop. And if this is something you want to see more of in the future, definitely leave a thumbs up, let me know. If you want to check out the game yourself, down below in the description, there'll be a link to the webpage. It is free to play right now, so you can click on that link, download the game yourself, and give it a try. Definitely check it out. It's pretty cool. I think it deserves a lot more attention. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.